So we took our footage, we created few bins, and we imported them on our storage in the media storage of DaVinci Resolve. So we are ready into our program to create a new timeline, and we have to move on the edit section. Inside the edit section, it's possible to create timelines in few different ways. The smartest one is just to press on a bin with a right click and create a new timeline using selected bins. In that way, the program will create a custom timeline with all the footage inside our folder. So as you can see, just by going there and pressing it, it will ask me about my new timeline, the timeline name, the number of video tracks, the number of audio tracks, and the audio track type. You want to leave it on based on select media, and you can use select mark input and output. So creating, it will create our timeline, renaming it timeline 1 inside our selected bin. We can move the timeline on the master section and nothing will change. Another way is just to taking our footage and drag it inside a new timeline. If you have different timeline, or if you want to create different timeline, there is a handy tool to jump between one timeline to the other, because as you can see, you don't have any switch there, and that is by pressing there and going on the timeline view option and just pressing the first one. In that way, you can add another timeline with the plus, or just switching to another timeline by pressing on this little down arrow. We can creating another timeline. It will be an empty timeline, and we're gonna generate it just by dragging a footage in there, and it will automatically generate our timeline 2. So these are the best way to create timelines. You can now jump on your timelines in that way. You can also generate timelines just by importing XML files on import timeline, but we'll talk about that later on another lesson. And yeah, these two are the straightforward ways to create a custom timeline that match the resolution that you set on your project settings.